Rothko's thoughts on art and his work, his entire body of work, have influenced me mainly because of his approach to the idea of plasticity. He defines it as the relationship between what you see visually in a work of art and how believable that is as part of your reality, how one can empathetically experience a work of art as if it were part of their own world. And when looking at his work, you are looking into a window, into an atmospheric space that is really indescribable with words or with any concrete visual properties, and all you're left with is a feeling that you could be there. Richard Serra is the most prevalent artist that I take influence from. His verbalist is incredibly influential to me. The act of making becomes the artwork. His piece Lift, which is a sheet of rubber that he literally just lifted off of the ground, and then it sat oriented as it was after that action. I could feel that. I could almost experience the act while viewing it. I consider Ana Mendieta a major influence on my work because, again, of her use of her physical body in her pieces. What's different about her work is that her physical body interacts with nature almost always in her works. Specifically in the Silhouette series, where she intervened in nature with her body. As the waves were crashing up against the sand on a beach, she laid down on the sand and let the water create a cavity where her body was, requiring the viewer to infer something instead of just giving it all away immediately. In effect, creates a more plastic experience. In the same way that Marina Abramovich uses her body, it's a similar thing the way Gabriel Orozco does. The difference is that a lot of the time he's just using a portion of his body. My Hand is My Heart is just a heart, or a depiction of a heart, and it's made just with his hands. And basically he takes a hunk of clay and squeezes it with his hands and displays it, holding it out like this right near his heart. I like that idea of sort of the intimate small object that's just a fragment of the body, allowing the viewer to take that one bit of evidence and infer their own sort of universal body from that instead of it being a specific body. The piece where I derived most of my method is by Janine and Antony, called Saddle. She took cowhide and draped it over her form, and the negative space of her body is shown in the piece, and the actual mass is just a skin on top of her. Most of the work that I like by Janine and Antony, she states that she has a body and the viewer has a body, and therefore if she uses her body to make the work, then a reference point and a immediate access point is available to the viewer. It relates back to the idea of plasticity in the sense that it creates a reality for the viewer to have empathy for. Antony Gormley, in all of his work, except for one piece called Blind Light, uses his body to make all of his sculptures. But the piece Blind Light is the only case where the viewer's physical body is the piece. And the experience that the viewer's body has is sort of what's taken away. So when you walk into this glass room, you basically lose your sense of sight. You can't see your body, you don't know where you're oriented in space, and you feel weightless in a